Good morning. It is wonderful to see all of you here this morning. Newcomers, longtime members, and those watching online. My name is Don Rakow, and I am delighted to be your celebration associate this morning. May we gather today to nurture our connections, seek inspiration, and embrace change. Repair is our theme for November. What are the relationships and the networks in your life that are most in need of repair? Where do you find healing? We have many activities this week, as we do most weeks. Please read the announcements in your order of service to learn more. There are two items that I would particularly like to draw your attention to. First, the fall open question is, what does a generous community feel like? Responses are encouraged from anyone through November 22nd. Also, next Sunday, all are invited to break bread and to enjoy chili and cornbread after the service. This is our annual chili and cornbread celebration. So please do see the weekly announcement for how you can get more involved by sharing your cooking skills, and if you're not feeling particularly adept at cooking, how you can help with setup and cleanup. If you are new or visiting for the first time, I invite you to fill out a yellow pew card and place it in the offertory plate at the appropriate time. You can also drop it off at the welcome table, which is through those doors where we meet for conversation, coffee, and snacks after the service. Before we light the chalice, I invite each of you to get to know your neighbors a bit better. I would say right after the actual lighting, because you don't want to be distracted and accidentally light this.
Right in front of the...
I'm going to have to get much better at chalice. Today, our chalice will be lit by Jim Garbarino. Jim?
I was asked to say a couple of words about why I find such joy in being an usher, a mundane task. It's because more than half a century ago, when I first came into this sanctuary, I felt so welcomed, and I like to return the favor. Well, now. How many PhDs does it take to light a chalice?
Life is made up of small accomplishments. Please join me in saying the chalice lighting words which are printed in your order of service. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action.
Opening words are from Marge Percy's poem, To Be of Use. The people I love the best jump into work head first without dallying in the shadows. They swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out.
We have some friends that are going to come up and grab a basket now as we do our Side with Love collection for the Ithaca Kitchen Cupboard this month. And I invite the rest of you to rise in body or spirit and join me for hymn number 95, There Is More Love Somewhere. Friends, it is always so lovely to be here with you on these Sunday mornings. Now is the time that I invite anyone who is young or feeling particularly young at heart to come on up and have a seat on the steps and join me for our time for wonder. Hi, friends. All right, who would like to open up the Wonder Box? Leon, have you opened up the Wonder Box for us recently? Come on up and open it up for us. What do you have in there?
A bowl of water.
A bowl of water, some pennies, tweezers,
And a $50.
and a $50. All right. Can you take that Wonder Box and put it right on the ground for me? Excellent. So we have been talking about the practice of repair this month, and today we're going to talk about the practice using the tool of honesty as a part of that practice. Excellent. You cannot have it, friend. Sorry. But we are going to use it right now, and you can help me with it, actually, if you want. So can you pick that $50 up? Excellent. So this $50 here is going to represent the truth. And I would love it if you would drop it into our bowl here.
Is it
Just-
a Canada coin?
It's not a Canadian coin, no. Go ahead and just drop it in.
I haven't seen a coin like that.
All right, excellent. Oh, that's great. Hold on, friends. We're not there yet. Hold on, friend. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Can you take one? Can you take one and make sure everyone else has one penny?
I have one.
Make sure everyone has one penny. Can you do that for me, Mateo? So that everyone has one? We need to make sure everyone has one penny. Excellent. That's a good question. We haven't gotten to the tweezers yet. All right. So our $50 in here represents the truth. So here we have our truth. Could you be the first person to help me, Mateo? So the pennies are going to represent lies. So can you drop one of the pennies in here for me? Just one? Ooh, that was a lot. We're going to just do one, friend. All right. Do you notice what happened to the lie when it hit the truth there? What do you see? It's starting to cover it up, but is it covering it up all the way?
No.
It's not covering up. That's right. That's exactly what I want you to do. Can you drop another one on top of it for me? Each of you. Go ahead and drop one on. All right. Excellent. Come on up.
Everybody drop it.
Everyone's going to drop one on. Don't worry. Everyone's going to get a turn.
I can't see.
Yeah. All right. Did you get one in, Luna? Yeah. Do you want to drop another one?
I want to drop another one.
All right. Did everyone get one in?
I want to drop another one.
All right. So right now, our lie is still not quite covered.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, almost, almost. There we go.
Oh, dang it.
One more.
Dang it.
Oh, it takes, friends, how many lies does it take to cover up the truth?
I don't know.
Because when you start lying, you'll often notice that there are holes, right? There are holes and we can still see the truth. And when you start telling lies, you often have to tell more lies in order to cover the truth up all the way. So, okay, we finally have it covered up.
Almost covered.
Almost covered up. Do we need one more? Do you want to give us one more, Liliana? And see if we can cover up that tiny bit?
Dang it.
No?
Dang it.
This is hard to do, right? It's hard to cover the truth up by telling lies and lies and more lies. All right, did we get it all covered up?
No.
All right,
That was still not covered up.
all right.
God.
All right,
covered up?
we finally got it all covered up by lies. Friends, can someone count for me? How many lies did we have to tell to cover that truth up?
We can't count. They're all piled on top of each other.
I bet you can count them.
15.
You 15.
16.
16 lies.
16.
We had to tell 16 lies to cover up the truth here, right? So this is what happens, right? When we start telling lies, is we have to tell more of them and more of them and more of them. But we have tools, friends. We have tools to prepare. And Liliana has our tool here, and this is the tool of honesty. So Liliana, could you pull the truth out of there for us? It's hard to get to under all of those lies, isn't it? It's hard to get out. You can pull it all the way out of the water. Oh, and we're even needing help. It's taking more than one person up here to uncover the truth. What do you think? It's taken a lot of work here to uncover the truth, right? Even with our tool of honesty here. It's taking a lot. Did you get it? All right, can you hold it up? All right. Yeah, you want to do it too? So friends, is it a good thing to tell lies? No, right? It doesn't build trust. That's right. It hurts trust, right? It hurts the trust that we have here. You got it. Thank you, Mateo. You cannot keep it, but thank you for asking. So when we use lies, right, to cover up the truth, we end up having to use lots of lies. But we can use that tool that we have of repair, which is honesty, to help uncover that truth. Now, the responsible search for truth and meaning is a part of our history here, and it's an important part of our faith, right? So I'm going to invite everyone here in the days and weeks and months ahead to be on the lookout for those falsehoods, right? And to remember that even a tiny kernel of truth, right, can help to spread the love by using honesty, right, out into the world. Friends, thank you so much for helping with this Time for Wonder today. Parents and caregivers, if you have not signed your young people in for religious exploration, I'm going to invite you to join Madeline and I in the parlor. Thank you for helping me pick this up. And everyone else, I'm going to invite you. You can dump them all in now. You can dump all the lies in. It's all right.
I want to keep these pennies. Can I keep?
And everyone else is going to sing Where You Go, which you can find in the back of your gray hymnal. You put them right in there for me. We're going to go upstairs.
I want to
All right.
keep those.
Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. And where you go, I will go. And your people are my people. Your people.
Good morning. There are a couple of different ways that your joy or sorrow or appreciation can be submitted for inclusion on Sunday mornings. You can send notices to joysandsorrows@uuithaca.org by 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, or you can fill out one of the green cards in that basket before the service and just leave it there and we'll pick it up. When considering what you want to say in your joy and sorrow, please note that the services are live streamed and available to the public on our YouTube channel. Okay. In the spirit of reverence, love, and care, we take time now to bear witness to some of the joys and sorrows of our community, to share those events that call for our prayers and support, our praise and celebration. So this morning, I received from Emily an appreciation for the hospitality team that once again stepped up to make sure that everything ran smoothly and helping out with last Sunday's wonderful celebration of the work that the Environmental Interest Circle did to have heat pumps installed in the annex. Thank you for ensuring that this community of connection and care is warm. Also, thank you to Stephanie Ortolano, Reverend Jane Shortall, Madonna Stallman, Nancy Dolge, Seema Mathur, Madeline Natal, Nancy Miller, Jens Wenberg, and everyone who assisted with the pre- and post-election vigils and offerings. Now is the time to hold each other in love as we search for a way forward together. And from Sara Catterall, we had our first newcomers brunch in such a long time, and it was a big success yesterday with at least 22 guests. Thank you to Kathy Hopkins for the idea for a small group ministry service project, and to her, Sara, Elizabeth Einstein, Matt Hare, Carl Hopkins, Sue and Dan Rakow, Wendy Wolf, and Carl Whitlow for providing the food and labor to make it all happen. Edna Brown graciously attended to take photos for the Breeze Directory. Thank you. For those we are holding in our thoughts, in our hearts, and perhaps in our prayers, into this community, into this space of healing and hope, let us call these names out loud or speak them in our hearts right now. We extend loving kindness to all in our world, and let us not forget to extend loving kindness to ourselves. Today, tomorrow, and beyond, let our hands be outstretched in kindness, and let us keep showing up to our lives and each other with an open heart, no matter what. Love and courage to us all.
The meditation reading is taken from a blog post by Brené Brown, the psychologist and podcaster. Despair is a claustrophobic feeling. It's an emotion that says nothing will ever change. People who subscribe to power over leadership often weaponize despair. They count on people giving up on themselves, on their work, and on each other. I get it. I'm questioning the value of my work. I'm wondering if courage, kindness, and caring for one another simply don't matter anymore. I'm desperate for someone to blame because blame is an effective way to discharge pain, and it gives us a sense of counterfeit control. But the research shows that hope is a powerful antidote to despair. What's interesting, however, is that hope is not an emotion. Hope is a cognitive behavioral process. It's about having a goal, a pathway to achieve that goal, and a sense of agency that says, I can do this. Right now, I'm asking myself how I can support the people around me, the people on my team, the people in my community. How can I make sure that in the maelstrom of my emotions, I stay committed to courage, kindness, and caring for others, regardless of the choices that others may be making?
Each week, we take an offering to sustain the important ministries and programs of this congregation and its presence in Ithaca and beyond. Giving to the plate is important. It's a symbol of our gratitude for this service and our ongoing commitment to support the work of this church. My spouse, Sue, and I support this church each year because we feel that in doing so, our voices are heard. For those watching remotely, instruction for giving using your phone or computer will appear on your screen during the offertory music and in the information below the live stream image on YouTube. For those attending in person, our ushers will now pass the plate. Please join me in saying the offertory words printed in your order of service. May these gifts bring about connection, inspiration, and engagement within these walls and beyond.
At a moment like this, it can feel like everything needs transformation or even revolution, and that our individual actions are not equal to the moment. But focusing exclusively on the national or global level, as important as that is, can obscure significant local work that is planting seeds of change and creating a foundation for lasting transformation. So many of you here are doing this important work. And today, I am grateful to Michelle and Sara and Don, who will share some of the work they are doing with families in this community and toward our connection with the natural world. And I'm especially grateful. I know how hard it is to summarize activities in a few minutes, and I know each person could easily speak an entire sermon on their work. So we'll start with Michelle.
Thanks, Magdalene. Hello, everyone. So I'm here to tell you about how I transitioned from almost 3 decades of being a professional sign language interpreter to what I do now. That work was fun, creative, and incredibly challenging. But something was always missing. So about 5 years ago, I started working with an agency that works with adoptive, foster, and kinship families. The agency itself has all staff who are from what we call adoption constellation, either a foster alum, an adult adoptee, a biological parent, or an adoptive parent, which is what I am. We have lots of trainings that we attend and research that we follow, but the lived experience that each one of us brings to the table is so powerful to our work. It helps us go and work with families and helps them trust us more than someone who just comes in with a degree. We know their stories. We've heard their stories. We've seen them in our home. And that helps them be able to talk and learn from us. We start with talking to our families about neuroscience, because what our families believe is that they're children who are bad, that their behavior is crazy, or the labels I've heard are amazing. But really, the trauma that they've been through has restructured or rewired their brains. So we focus on the prefrontal cortex. I don't know if you guys know about Dan Siegel's hand model of the brain. This is a relaxed brain. And we talk about the prefrontal cortex that we all, adults and children, need to be able to learn, problem solve, and hear what's being told to them. And then we talk about this amygdala that's underneath this prefrontal cortex that is part of the rewiring. And that amygdala is where our emotional regulation comes from. And for kids from trauma, or anyone from trauma, if there's just the slightest bit of frustration or the slightest bit of shame, it can feel really large. And when that happens, they flip their lid, and that prefrontal cortex is gone. All those skills they have are gone. They can't hear us when we're trying to tell them to clean it up and go to their room and do better and all that stuff we do. So this helps. And yesterday at the newcomers breakfast, someone was talking about the election results and how crazy it is that people can't empathize. This neuroscience helps our families, if they haven't started with some empathy, start to empathize with our children. And without that, they can't connect with the kids. And when they connect, They're helping to rewire that brain and heal it, and also help that child trust again. Of course they don't trust. They didn't come into this world, or maybe a little later in life, things got pulled out from under them, and that unconditional love was gone. Their original families were gone, and that trust takes a long time for them to heal. So I found what was missing in my 3 decades of signing. We do a lot of role plays about the difference between traditional parenting and therapeutic parenting, and that the traditional parenting is not going to connect with your child, is not going to help them heal their brain. The therapeutic parenting will. There are many techniques that we give families. I'm just going to talk about one, and that's playfulness, because it disengages that amygdala. I had a family with a 3rd grader who was already refusing to go to school. So I talked to them a lot about playfulness. And this one morning, the child didn't know, put googly eyes all over the house, went up to bed to wake them up, and could tell how dysregulated and how much he didn't want to go to school. And she said, "Come on, let's go downstairs and we'll find 6 sets of googly eyes before we head out the door." And the kid was like, "Cool." Went downstairs, they found them, they laughed, they connected. And before they left, Mom put 2 of the googly eyes on his hand so that he could look at them during the day when he got dysregulated and remember, oh, my mom is there for me right now. She helps me when I'm dysregulated. That kid was mine. I was pretending that it wasn't, so that this wouldn't happen. So there's lots of tools that we give families, and we also help support them work through, because a parent has to work through their own, how they were parented, to be able to really learn how to therapeutically parent. When this work works, it's amazing. It really is. The child learns to trust again. The caregiver sees that their role is to co-regulate and help that amygdala calm. The behaviors will come and go. It'll be, they say adoption is a journey. It'll be a lifetime of dysregulation and repair, and dysregulation and repair. I went back to work about 2 months ago after a 3-month medical leave. And I was like, how am I supposed to care for other families when I still need to be cared for? And then a couple of weeks ago, things shifted. That was the election time. And I was so grateful to all of a sudden be able to really focus on the important work of healing and repair, one family at a time. And this, I was trying to figure out how I could retire instead of do it. But now I know, because since the election, I'm like so focused and so like, this is where I belong, at least for another 3 years. Thank you.
I'm Sara Catterall, and like many of you, I am a terrible introvert. I love people, but I have struggled with social anxiety, and I tend to end up in the corner at parties. But I also grew up in several communities, including the alternative elementary school where parents taught optional extra classes, a church, a youth theater group, and the fiber arts community where my mother was a leader. My grandmother belonged to several clubs and volunteered at a museum. My dad was always involved in political activism. So I thought volunteer work was an ordinary part of adult life, a way to contribute to whatever community I live in, and make friends and connections. And that's exactly what it's turned out to be for me. I've done a lot of volunteer work around this town, in schools and clubs and community centers. And about 10 years ago, I signed up to volunteer at Buffalo Street Books. I'm a writer in part because I've always read a lot. I've loved libraries and bookstores all my life, and I've worked in them too. And when I first moved to Ithaca, there were bookstores everywhere, used and new, and each with its own personality. I love to browse in person and talk to other people who love books. And then for years after that, after Amazon, Buffalo Street Books became Ithaca's one surviving independent bookstore selling new books. And like most bookstores, it struggles to break even. When it became a cooperative in 2012 and appealed to the community for support, I signed up as a member and later as a volunteer. I go in to help them shelve books on Tuesday afternoons when most of the new books come in. And in 2019, I was elected to the executive board of the cooperative. In my time there, I've learned so much about this town and met so many people. Every time I go in there, I hear something or read something new. It's a significant center of Ithaca's cultural and social life. The staff and the board have developed relationships with other businesses and nonprofits and galleries and theaters and this huge community of local writers, the library, Southside Community Center, school teachers and librarians, the creative writing programs at Cornell and Ithaca College, and charities that give books to children. So many different crowds come into the store for our events, including the monthly drag story hour, author readings, game nights, workshops, and fairs. Our manager created the annual Ithaca's Books Festival that has started to draw speakers and vendors from all over the region and the country. We stock a shelf of free books at the farmer's market. It's an amazing amount of activity for one little store. In March 2020, I came in for my regular shift on the day the governor closed all non-essential businesses in the state because of COVID. I spent all day helping to call customers to cancel orders and shut down the store, and we thought we were going to go under. And then we were all astonished by how strongly the community showed up for us. It felt like that final scene in It's a Wonderful Life, only socially distanced. People donated to our fundraiser and bought so many books. We built new bonds in a time of grief and breakdown and isolation. But we've never been able to do everything because we struggle to pay the bills. This year we made the decision to call on our community once again to help us become an arts nonprofit. It's a huge transition with no guarantees and a lot of extra meetings and anxiety. We could still go under. But it's been deeply rewarding to engage so deeply with an organization I value and to do what I can to help it succeed. I've gained much more than I've been able to give. Even though most weeks, looking at it from the outside, I'm just going in to shelve half a cart of books and tidy up the children's section. I could say similar things about my work in this congregation over the years. If you show up in person to help out a group you value, any group, and contribute whatever you can, you're going to develop relationships and networks and a new understanding of its place in the world and your own. And as you learn, you get the chance to become part of the solution, to help knit people together, build trust and good influences and a sense of belonging that can become part of the foundation for the world you want to see.
Many of us are parents or grandparents of college students and know that this can be a really exciting period in the lives of young people. Engaging in intellectually stimulating courses, connecting with dynamic faculty, and bonding with fellow students can be a profoundly enriching and transformative experience. But for many college students today, the pressures of social media, academic demands, and concerns about everything from finances and relationships to climate change and environmental degradation can eclipse the joys of student life. This leaves millions of young people grappling with pervasive stress, anxiety, depression, and other psychological conditions. In fact, according to the 2023 National College Health Assessment, 76% of students experience moderate to severe psychological distress in the previous year. 76%. As a result, many college health centers are inundated with demand for services, and student needs are frequently not fully met. Addressing the well-being of today's college students was the impetus for my creation of the Nature RX program at Cornell and the later creation of the Campus Nature RX Network, which I co-direct with my colleague, Dr. Dorothy Ebis from William & Mary. We in Campus Nature RX, which we call CNRX, believe that colleges and universities have the responsibility to nurture students' mental and physical health as much as their intellectual development. And we are committed to developing campus programming based on the latest research in nature and research. So, what do sheep mowing, sod sofas, campus squirrels, and nature prescriptions all have in common? They are diverse approaches that colleges and universities are taking to encourage students to spend more time out in nature and in green spaces in addition to going to classes. Nature RX clubs, courses, and special events are heightening student awareness of the healthy ways that they can contribute to their own well-being while having fun. While campus Nature RX efforts alone cannot resolve the mental health crisis on today's college campuses, they can play a crucial role as part of a comprehensive wellness strategy by colleges and universities. By promoting nature-connected and health-focused campuses, Campus Nature RX and our 80 member institutions across the US and into Canada are working to enhance the well-being of entire campus communities. As the esteemed biologist and author E.O. Wilson stated, just being surrounded by bountiful nature rejuvenates and inspires us. Thank you.
Please stand and body your spirit for our closing hymn, 121, We'll Build a Land.
We'll
closing words are Strength from the Smallest Seeds by Sophia Betancourt, current president of the UUA. Each seed, with its potential for life, teaches me something about conditions needed for the miraculous. Each seed is a parcel of DNA and food and possibility that holds me accountable to my role in the wonder of things. It also serves as a reminder that connection, awareness, attention, and care allow me to participate in reciprocal relationships with life in the garden and beyond. We are in a time when these reminders of possibility feel ever more vital. Choose again and again to invest in the goodness of human life in relationship and in relationship to our planet. Our interdependence matters. Our pluralism invites us to embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. The love at the center of our faith holds us even in the face of the unimaginable. It is love that abides. In this time, when holding fast to hope can be a struggle, may we draw strength from beloved community. Let us remember that the smallest seeds of our investment, our care, our embodied faith in the face of the world on fire can in fact bring forth the miraculous. May this freely chosen faith and all that we hold in common cause strengthen you in the days to come.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our service has ended. Let our true service now begin.